You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Hello there. This is General Grievous, and you are watching the Cantina Club.
It's a wretched hive. But life ain't always teddy bears, fireworks, and high fives. The folks round here don't care for sand. Stick around long enough, you'll be lucky.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Cantina Club episode. The first one since we wrapped up Boba Fett back about 6 weeks ago. So it's been a while, but now we're back, and we'll tell you what this is all about right after this.
We all know round here, Solo always does shots first. Singing yum num, raise your glass, and sing yum num.
The wheel's turning.
Yum num.
I'm just bringing up the Cantina Club Star Wars signing page.
At the Cantina Club.
This is weird. Where do you change to? Oh, I see. I thought it was telling me to review my own page. Like, my page is awesome. It's just the same. No. I don't want to look it over anymore. Okay.
All right, and we're back. What we're going to do this for this episode is we're actually, Greedo and I are going to be going to the ICCCon or whatever the heck it's called.
ICCC.
Yeah, it's basically ICCCon.
ICCC. Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention.
That thing, and we're going to that. That's coming up in Nashville at the I believe it's the Airport Hilton or something like that.
Airport Sheridan. Yeah.
Airport Sheridan.
Sheridan Music City Airport is what it's called.
Got it.
Okay. Big hotel with a big convention center in it.
Got it. Okay. So it's coming up at the Airport Sheraton in Nashville, Tennessee. Not next weekend, but the weekend after, which will basically be April 29th through May 1st. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're going to be going to that. But before we get into all of that, we're going to talk about that plus a couple of other upcoming conventions over the next couple of months and some of the guests and things like that. But first, we're going to get back to our regular segments of Veriku and Cloud City Rancor Pit. We're going to start out with Veriku, and I'm going to turn the tables over to Greedo so that he can start out what he's got with the Veriku.
This is what I have.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, that isn't the name of the segment, though. Very nice. It's
Veriku.
Yeah. And I got this at GameStop that I happened to stumble upon it. I don't know if they've released another kind of wave of these, but
right, that's what I was going to ask, because it looks like it's pretty much in mint condition.
Yeah, it is. It's in the box. I haven't taken it out. I do not leave things in the box. Let's just put it that way.
I don't think any of us do.
But over the last few years, I've gotten so much in my, now it's become an actual collection. I hate even having a collection, but and calling it that, but that's what it is. That I've left more and more stuff in the boxes because I don't really have shelves to display it or whatever. You can see behind me, there's going to be some shelves in here, but not so far. This is a new room. But anyway, I just stumbled across it, and they were going for like $250, $300 on eBay and stuff before that, and you weren't seeing them in the stores. So I went ahead and grabbed it. It was on sale for some reason, and I was thinking this might be the last time you see the Slave One marketed as the Slave One.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. Yeah,
even though that is its name. You know,
that is. Yeah, no, that's great that you got one with the name on it.
Yeah,
that's
it
excellent.
Will be the Emancipation Proclamation one.
That would have been the perfect name change. It's now called the Emancipation.
Emancipation one.
The Emancipation one. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
I'm a bounty hunter, but I want diversity, equality, and
equity,
fraternity, equity, and I want women to tell me what to do.
Yeah, that is definitely very cool. All right, you got anything else, or is that it?
That's pretty much it. I have a lot of stuff around here. Like I have Count Dooku's lightsaber sitting over there, but I didn't. It takes some assembly, and I didn't put it together yet. So
yeah, All right. Well, I've got a couple of things. One small one, and then one I just picked up that I've been wanting for a while. But first of all, just got another Funko because that's what everybody needs. I got
build that wall, build that
Luke,
podcaster wall.
Yeah, building that podcaster wall. I've got Luke with Grogu.
Nice. I thought about getting that. I saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
I was going to get that one in Gundark. That's just the perfect.
I just saw it in Target one day, and I was like, "Oh, let me grab it." It was only like $10. So
the problem with Jedi Luke Funkos is he just looks like a cult member. He's just
with the black robes.
Yeah, there's nothing, and he has kind of a blank face. He just looks, he's very nondescript.
All right. So now we're going to move on to the Cloud City Rancor Pit section, where we discuss a show that we're currently watching or have watched in the past that we want to recommend or basically give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So yeah, Cloud City is a thumbs up, a Rancor Pit is a thumbs down, and basically a Sarlacc Pit is like really thumbs down. we reserve the Sarlacc Pit for the worst of the worst.
Right. Yeah, the Sarlacc. It can keep it for 1,000 years. We don't ever have to see it again.
I'll just say one word and it'll sum it up. La Brea.
Yeah, La Brea's digesting.
Greedo's going to have PTSD from that.
Post-traumatic stupidity dumbness.
Stupidity disorder. Stupidity dumbness. All right. So, okay. I guess I'll start this time. Since you started last segment. I have a Cloud City. This is a show that I've been kind of waiting for a while because I'm a big fan of of basically the books that the series is going to be based on. And I've been reading them for years now. But
Lord
it's
of the Rings on Amazon.
Yes. How did you know? No, it is on Amazon, however, but it's the series called Reacher.
Okay.
And so I watched the first season and I loved it. I thought it was great. So what it's about, those of you who don't know, it's about the character named Jack Reacher, who's a ex-military MP.
He's played by Tom Cruise.
He is not played by Tom Cruise.
What?
Which is the whole reason why it actually works.
You mean Scientology is losing its influence on the world? We actually have a Jack Reacher that isn't Tom Cruise.
Somehow, some way, right? No, but it's.
I don't know. You mean 5'7"?
Right, some guy who's 5'6" playing a 6'5", 250 pounder.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that got me is that. So since we're on the subject, Alan Richardson is the actor who plays Jack Reacher in this, and he's perfect for the role. He is exactly what I picture when I read these books. He is literally just this mountain of a man. He's 6'5", 250, and it's all muscle, no fat on this guy. He's just cut. And anyway, dude. It's phenomenal, and he's got his personality down. He really did his homework on the character. I don't know if he actually spoke with Lee Child, the author of the book series, or not. I'm sure he probably had something to do with it. I'm sure he had something to do with that. But anyway, it was just the way they did it was great. Now, the other thing that I like about what they're going to do about the series. So the series is basically, so far there's been about, I think 24, 25 books in the series, and I've read all of them.
Wow, that many? I knew there was a
lot. Oh yeah. Because basically he did at least a minimum one a year, and there were a couple of years where he did two a year. And he started in, I think, like 95 or 96, 97 maybe. So yeah, you can do the math there. Yeah, so he's got
kind of like Bosch on Amazon too. That's another long book series.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was based on a book series.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing. It started in the 90s, and I think in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Originally, he was a Desert Storm veteran, and by the time they did the show, he was a Afghanistan veteran.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
They had to update it.
So basically that's what I like that the filmmakers are doing, is that each season is going to be a separate novel. So,
Yeah.
one of the biggest problems that everybody has adapting books to film is that you have to cut out so much. You can't put a
it doesn't
400,
really
you can't
make
put a
any sense,
400 page book into a 2-hour movie,
Mhm.
but you can put a 400 page book into
And they have to take
8 or
like
9
six
episodes.
characters and write one character to be all 6 of
So
those
yeah,
characters.
as an amalgam of several characters,
Mhm.
exactly. So what they've done is basically they're going to make 8-9 hour versions of it, which they can technically do. And they pulled off season 1 pretty well based on the book The Killing Floor, which was the first. And they said they're just going to go in order. Obviously, who knows if the show will run 25 years, but it's like each book they're just going to go book 1, season 1, book 2 is season 2, book 3 is season 3, and the thing, and they can skip around if they wanted to, though, because the books aren't necessarily sequential. They're not like cliffhangers. Every book is kind of like, it's like episodic television. It's like the story is it starts and ends and it's done. Put a bow on it. Every once in a while, he may refer back to something that happened in a previous one, but it's pretty rare. And every once in a while, they'll also even have he's even written a couple of the novels that are like prequels to like basically like it shows him in his when he was still an MP and some stuff that happened while he was doing that. But that's just basically like prequel stuff. So anyway, that's basically my Cloud City. It's called Reacher. It's on Amazon Prime. I highly recommend it, and I also really highly recommend the book series. It's really phenomenal. I really enjoy those books.
I will say I have seen that series as well, Reacher, and so much better than the movies that they tried to do. And
so much better.
That's why I kind of make fun of it, because
Yeah.
he's supposed to be an ex-Marine that has, the Purple Heart and all these different medals, and he's built like a brick wall, and he's 6'5" or 6 or whatever. And Tom Cruise is the first person you think of course.
Oh yeah, first person I think of when I think of a mountain.
Yeah, and he literally he spends the first quarter of every book just beating everyone's ass. The character. So of course that's Tom Cruise down in the T, right? Not jumping on Oprah's couch or whatever. Jack
right.
On Oprah's couch. But anyway, I did see the series. I thought it was great. And the one thing that I would say about the whole Reacher thing is that he is a Gary Stu, whatever they, if you're familiar with the term, which most Star Wars fans are now, he is a wish fulfillment character, but because he basically is Sherlock Holmes, Superman, and Stone Cold Steve
He's all these things rolled into one.
Yeah, he does it all. And he's hardly ever wrong. But and he recovers from crazy injuries and shit. He does everything. But the fun thing about it is it's just done well. And the series, I thought, really did a great job of not taking it seriously. Yeah, it's tongue in cheek. It winks at you.
Sure.
They say
absolutely.
He even knows he's crazy over the top, and he kind of just is so smart
plays up to it
that you laugh. You have to laugh with him.
Right. Exactly.
And they found the right actor for that, and the right writers to where they could downplay that and where you could accept it, where it isn't just a complete. Tom Cruise was just like, I'm going to now break all of your hands, and one of you is going to drive this to the hospital. It's like, come on, Tom Cruise, stop. You're gonna make a call and your Scientology buddies are gonna show up and make this happen, or what? You're gonna hypnotize us all into thinking it happened, because you ain't breaking everybody's hands.
No.
But anyway, I did enjoy it. My Cloud City is, I just wanted to revisit a couple of things, because I did a Cloud City a couple of years ago in here. Well, it might not have been that long, but for Barry on HBO.
I remember that.
Yeah. And it's a great show about a hitman who becomes an actor. And it has some just tremendous performances in it. It's incredibly funny. And they announced after like a 1.5 year, 2-year hiatus, season 3 is coming out on April 24th. So if you haven't watched it, watch seasons 1 and 2. And I don't have any clue. I can't say whether season 3 is going to be good or not, but the first 2 are well worth the watch. And Bill Hader is the main character, and he's really awesome in it, playing kind of against type for him. But the best reason to watch it is who played the Fonz? Who played Fonzie? Henry Winkler. Henry Winkler is the best reason to watch it, and I can't get enough of this character.
He's great. Yeah, I've seen him in a lot of things.
He's mind-blowing in that show. I think he might have won an Emmy for it or something, or been nominated. He should have been, because it's just an incredible performance, and I can't wait to see more of him.
He's hilarious in Parks and Rec too, by the way.
Yeah, well, I need to watch that thing, because I had no idea how good he was until I saw Barry. And he hits a perfect note of drama and comedy and you just have to see it. It's a very unique, kind of cool character that he does in there. Also, I've been watching the final season of Attack on Titan, and I don't think I ever used that as a Cloud City on our podcast, but I should have, because it's one of my favorite shows, and I like anime, but I don't like there's just massive tons of anime out there necessarily for anime's sake. But this is just so different. It's like Gundam done crazy, brutal, medieval.
Yeah. Very
the concept is
gory
still
and
the
brutal.
same, like young people piloting stuff and fighting each other for reasons they don't understand. But it's very different, and the final season's awesome. It kind of lost me in season 3, but it's got back on track, and I can't wait to see how it ends. And I think the episodes are coming out Sundays on Amazon. They're kind of simulcasting it from what they do in Japan. So it depends on when a new episode comes out in Japan. Like they skipped a week for the Olympics and things like that. But phenomenal show. It's very, very deep and crazy. And so you kind of have to have some attention span. It's not a cartoon, and you don't want to watch it ever with kids.
No, definitely
it'll give them
not.
nightmares. It'll give them nightmares for life. It's extremely brutal. And it's what was the old the old X rating they came up with that really wasn't X
the
rated.
NC-17.
Yeah, this is the definition of NC-17. This is what they meant to come up with.
It really
for
is.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I
so
totally
that's
agree with that. All right, cool.
Barry,
All right.
Attack on Titan, and Reacher.
And Reacher. Yep. All right. Got a
Part
lot of
3
Cloud
for this
Cities
week.
this time. Very nice. We must be in good moods this week. All right. No pits.
Yeah, I've seen some mediocre stuff that I wouldn't throw to the Sarlacc just yet.
Okay. But it's potential for the future.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's get into our main topic. As I mentioned, Greedo and myself will be attending the ICCC convention. ICCC convention. So 3 times fast.
Gotta get the 3 C's.
Yeah, the 3 C's, not 2. Coming up in Nashville 2 weeks from now at the end of April, beginning of May. And what we're basically going to be doing is obviously we're going to be, we're going for, everything from autographs to photo ops to you name it. It's just been, I guess this will be the first con we've gone to together since PensaCon 21. Because we went to, nope, we went to one since then. We went to the Mississippi Con last June. Yeah, not quite a year ago. We went to that one where we met Billy D. Williams and Matthew Wood.
Yeah, my con consisted of standing in one place for 6
Right.
hours.
That's about what it was.
Pretty much. But you guys got a few extra things. And I did get to, I think, see Matthew Wood, if I remember right.
Oh, yeah. No, you came over. Yeah, we both talked to him for a while. Yeah.
But I was holding that place in line for Billy D. Williams. It was worth
Right. Exactly. But anyway, so the main guests that are going to be attending this one will be Ian McDiarmid, who of course played the Emperor and Chancellor Palpatine in the prequels. Also, we've got Anthony Daniels. Everybody knows C-3PO, the only person to appear in every single Star Wars film that's ever been made. In addition to that, we've got quite a few Clone Wars top names from the Clone Wars voice actors. We got Ashley Eckstein. We've got Matt Lanter, who's Anakin. James Arnold Taylor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, plus a plethora of other voices. But yeah, so that's kind of the focus that I think we're going to be going for. Those particular Star Wars people. I know Timothy Zahn's also going to be there, very well renowned, and probably my favorite Star Wars expanded universe author. So who else is coming? Who did I miss that we're interested? I know we've got some creature guys and some behind the scenes stuff from the original trilogy.
Yeah, right off the top of my head, the other person I want to meet and get several autographs from is Mike Quinn, who me and Nub.
Right.
Pronouncing that even remotely correctly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask him because I still don't know after all these years
right. I know
how to pronounce that character.
That's the way we've always said it, though.
And I do want to know whether he's actually dead or what did they tell him? Is Ian Nub actually dead or not?
Right.
He was electrocuted in the Hammerhead Corvette at the end of Rise of Skywalker with them.
Right, exactly.
No idea whether everybody recovered magically from that. So I think No, the guest list is Ian McDermott, Anthony Daniels, Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, James Arnold Taylor, Anna Graves, who was, I think, the Duchess.
Yeah, Duchess Satine Cleese, yeah, Bo-Katan's sister.
Mike Quinn, who was Ian Nubb, and he did a ton of puppeteering on Return of the Jedi, especially. And so I'm going to get him on my Jabba's Palace thing, because he's another one that puppeteered Jabba's eyes, and Cy Snoodles, who now has been consigned to the non-specialized edition.
Right.
But I much prefer her to the Roger Rabbit routine.
Yeah.
Then they have Trevor Butterfield, who played a million parts in Return of the Jedi. He was one of the rebels on Endor. He played a stormtrooper. He played one of Jabba's guards that was holding Luke's arm in the Jabba's palace after the Rancor sequence. He was in a sequence that was cut out where he was in one of the gun turrets of the Falcon. On the second Death Star attack.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Along with General Madine and everything.
Really, General Madine?
Yeah, General Madine was in a gun turret.
Oh, wow,
he had a
that's
whole
cool.
sequence. I think they originally were going to have General Madine do the stuff that Admiral Akbar did, and then I guess, but I don't know. I think they filmed it both ways and went with Admiral Akbar.
Got it. Okay, interesting. I
Then
didn't know that.
Sean Crawford, who was I think Yak Face.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yep, he was Yak Face.
He's a cool dude. I've met him before. And then of course Timothy Zahn. I met him at the last ICCC I went to. He was there at his own table. And let's see. I think he autographs any book you buy from his table for free. Timothy Zahn. So that's something to bear in mind if there's any hardbacks you want or anything.
Right.
That's a good place to pick them up.
Nice.
But yeah, the cool thing about this convention is they do a Friday that's VIPs only. And I'm speculating, and I probably shouldn't even speculate because it's none of my business, but this is just friendly speculation. But I have a feeling they finance a lot of the convention through VIP sales.
Right.
They do things.
Sales, yeah.
Yeah, they do things a little different here. It's not just like the general public getting a VIP pass to get Chris Hemsworth's autograph or something. It's really Star Wars heavy. It's really classic toys from the 70s, 80s, 90s heavy.
Right. A lot of Kenner stuff is going to be on display. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that work for Kenner are going to be there. A lot of their guests are the guys who did the artwork for the boxes is going to be there, who did the photography for the Kenner boxes and stuff is going to be there. Some of the guys who designed some of the toys are going to be there. They're really into that. They also, Michael Havens, who's the founder and the main guy behind ICCC, they're really into authenticating the toys and trying to get repro stuff that's been flooding the market for years, where people, like cast the weapons and make reproductions.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that stuff to be recognized, not to be sold for original prices, not to be ripping people off.
Exactly.
So their Friday is closed to the public, and it's VIP only, and that's part of how they finance this. But in the past, the VIP stuff is really cool. Like because they had not exactly celebrity guests, they always had people that just worked on Star Wars, extras, guys that played Imperials, things like that. You really got to meet those people when you're a VIP and hang with them and stuff. Usually the VIPs and the places all close. You stay in the same hotel. So there's parties where you get to go hang out with the guests and stuff like that. Yeah, VIP. Nice, and I just think that's really cool. It's different,
It's a different way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you really get to spend time with the guests and kind of be an insider a little bit. And it's also about the collecting. And they have a ton of merchandise at this thing, and a lot of just really cool ideas. They also have some of the coolest convention exclusives that you'll find anywhere, as far as the buttons, the badges, all the marketing, the stuff they have in their store. Michael Havens really just loves this stuff. You can tell he has a passion for it. And every time they come up with some new con exclusive, like a lot of times it'll be exclusive action figures. This year they've got, I think, 4 action figures that came out with. And they are like the old Kenner action figures, but they're done in a way that they're from ICC. They're not trying to fool anybody staying in their originals. They're done as a tribute,
Right.
And so anyway, and this year they also have like an ICC lightsaber you can buy. That's a con exclusive, and just a lot of cool stuff like that. But
Nice.
Friday being only for the VIPs is kind of neat if you're a VIP, because you don't have to deal with the public and stuff. And Saturday and I believe Sunday are open to the public. And so, yeah, and we're going to be there Friday and Saturday, and try to bring some good coverage of the convention.
Yeah, exactly.
Friday should have we'll be able to do a lot of photographs and videos, because like I said, the public won't be in there really. I don't know how many VIPs they have. I think it's a bunch, but we should be able to get a lot done Friday. And the Cantina Club thanks, everybody involved for, we have press passes to it. So they had a look at our podcast, and this is the reason I like this con is because they take people into consideration,
right?
Collectors and fans. It's run by fans for fans, kind of. And
right, exactly.
Yeah. Another thing you'll notice, and I hate to keep just talking, but
no, I don't know.
We're real into the autographs, and we're not serious autograph collectors. Like, we don't put them in a safe or anything.
Right.
We do pick up autographs at cons, and we do help other people who can't be there that want to get autograph. We'll pick up autographs and mail them to people and stuff. But the autograph prices, Michael Havens said he did everything he could to keep the autograph pricing as low as possible. And I believe it when you look at the list of pricing, because everything in the world has gone up. We all know that. And autographs have exploded and they've become ridiculous.
It's becoming a huge industry. Yeah.
But these prices are like 3 years ago. They're still high for what pre-20 like 2017 or before, but 2018, 2019 beyond, everything exploded, and these are really prices from back then. Yeah. All you gotta do is compare these prices to Star Wars Celebration prices, which is a few weeks later, and these are much lower. It makes a difference when you have a bunch of guests. You're a Star Wars fan, and you want to get Trevor Butterfield's autograph and Ian McDermott's. If Ian McDermott is $200, I'm not picking up him. I'm just using an example.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if the big star that you really don't want to miss is a lot of money, it cuts out. You can't support the other guys like you want to, and you can't get those autographs and photo ops that you want to with the other people. And when it's a little more reasonable, it allows you to get that extra one and meet that extra person. And you and I, that's what we enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is meeting the people. So.
Right. And that's the one thing you really get from the smaller conventions, smaller based on a scale of like Star Wars Celebration, which is the top, for Star Wars stuff. That's much more of a cattle call. At least it is over the past 10 years or so. I know I went to the first two that were in Orlando back in 2010 and 2012, and it was not that way at all. Even though it was a massive scale convention, it had that small convention feel to it still, before it started just to explode in the mid 2010s. And then the prime example is when myself, you, and Gundark all went to 2017 here in Orlando Celebration, and it was just, I enjoyed it, had a great time ultimately, and made a lot of great memories with that. But at the same time, it was a big cattle call, and it was really run poorly compared to some of the ones I've seen in the past. And we won't get into all the autograph mess and all that stuff, but that's just getting back to my original point. Is that's what I like about these smaller conventions. Going to a PensaCon or a MississippiCon or these ICCC, it's just a smaller. You get to generally spend more time with the guest to actually get to know them a little bit better. Kind of like you said, kind of like an insider feel, versus just next, take one step to the right. Next, take one step to the right. So that's why I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, my favorite thing about it is meeting the guests and just hearing the stories. Like Angus McGinnis. Last at PensaCon 2020 was just amazing. We had, we've already talked about all the stories, but just standing there and being able to talk to somebody like that for 25-30 minutes, and he just went on and on with all these great stories, not even just Star Wars stories, but all these other films, that he's been involved with, Vikings and Witness and things like that.
Yeah,
it was just fantastic, just to hear that kind of stuff. It's great. For me,
that's priceless to us, because we don't get
exactly.
to do that. We don't get to. It's almost like you're just hanging out hearing these stories that you can read interviews and stuff, but it's just different
when you hear it right from the person who did it, and they're sitting there willing to tell you the story themselves. It's fantastic. I just absolutely love it. But yeah, so like for me, the autograph is kind of like the souvenir of the convention. It's not necessarily why I go. It's just that's kind of like my souvenir that I take home with me. The reason why I go is to meet them and to talk to them and just kind of just go experience the convention. I just love the vibe of seeing everybody and the cosplay and the merchandise that's for sale and the various things like that. So it's kind of the overall experience for me that the reason why I like to go to these things.
Yeah, the all the costumes and everything, and the chance that people have to bring their creativity, and just freely kind of be a nerd, and not worry about it, And it's the only place. It's the only place you can do a mashup of some obscure anime character and some obscure Star Wars character into the costume.
Right.
People will recognize what it is,
Right.
So,
Exactly.
It's fun for all those reasons, and but this con kind of, I don't know, it's started off small, and I think they're still finding their footing and everything, but I'm a big supporter of it so far. Everything I've been to it once before. I'm looking forward to going back again. When I was there the last time, it was maybe 3 years ago. They had a stage set up and had bands playing.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, because they had such a big hall, because it's Nashville, so it's like they were bringing in all these elements you didn't expect, like
right.
when there wasn't a panel on the stage with the screens and everything, they had bands up there, and it was really professionally done. It was,
interesting. Very nice.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Not something you see at these types of conventions much.
Well, they do have bands sometimes. Usually they're playing outside or for a party or something. But I thought it was cool that they were bringing them on to play, break music in between the panels.
Right. Yeah.
It was just really neat.
Yeah. Until the next panel starts, we've got this, random band from local band playing. Yeah. Exactly. That's cool. And get some exposure to a local band too. So that's cool.
Yeah. And I love conventions like this too, and Pensacon as well. But this is even I think more fan friendly in a way. They'll bring guests like Bill Westley, a second unit director on Empire Strikes Back. When am I ever going to meet Bill Westley?
Exactly.
Unless I fly to the UK and go to some con there that's Star Wars oriented, or I go to Europe, for one of those. It's just not going to happen. And I met Bill Westley at that ICCC 3 years ago, and they bring guests like that. That you might think is niche or whatever, and it has a very, it doesn't have a huge amount of appeal, but to me it's gold. It's like, I love this stuff, and it's like a dream come true bringing some of these people over. It's my only chance to meet them, and when they bring them in a group of like 10 guests, 6, 8, 10 guests, it's awesome.
Right.
You get to spend a really good weekend meeting these people that you would never meet, hearing the stories, getting autographs, photo ops, and most 90% of the time everybody's super cool to meet, and that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love those stories. Those are great.
I am looking at the autograph and photo op price list here, and I've realized now what you were talking about was James Arnold Taylor. He's got an autograph price of $60, but when you break it down, it's 60 per personalized autograph and 100 per non-personalized item.
Right.
So he charges $40 more for non-personalized. That's really weird.
That's what it's looking like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really,
and that's not a con thing. That's a him thing. I'm sure that was his stipulation for being there. They don't have that on any other guest. So that he probably believes that people are reselling his autograph on eBay, and he probably has an issue with it. That's what would be my guess. I'm not going to ask him because he can do whatever he wants. But, But yeah, I think that's interesting. But the price list, like I said, is even like Ashley Eckstein, who she's $100 at this event, and that's it. Whereas when I've seen her just last year, she was like $100 and $120 if you brought your own item and stuff. Yeah, and a lot of add-ons, and things like that. And this is just one straight price, and it's a lower. I think she's been just bringing her price kind of up and up. And Daniels is 100, and McDermott's 100. That's a lot, but believe me, it ain't nothing like like what it should be. Yeah, I mean, Billy D. Williams was 150 last year. and at Celebration, McDermott and Daniels I think are 150 at least.
Yeah.
And then if you want to do send-ins at Celebration and you want anything extra, it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I priced one at like 225 for Daniels with a quote or something.
Wow.
It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So,
and what did we pay for Mark back in 2017? Was it like 250?
it was 250.
250. Yeah, that's what I thought. So that was
2017.
That was 5 years ago.
And that was, he really bumped that up to an outrageous level, we thought at the time. But now I would love to get him for 250.
Yeah.
And he did New York Comic Con and one in Texas. It might have been the Dallas Comic Con or something at the time. I think that changed after that. But he did those two cons that year after Celebration, and his price went up to 300.
Mm-hmm.
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, I believe at New York for sure it was 300 an autograph.
Yeah.
And that was the difference between kind of the beginning of the year and the end of the year. And there was people saying this is his last appearance, at the one in Dallas. And so far that's proven to be true. That changes, but so anyway, the ICCCCon, it's Nashville. Everybody knows where Nashville is. You can have a great freaking weekend on top of the con.
Right.
If you're into any kind of going out and seeing things and music, and Nashville's a good town to spend a weekend in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but the attitude and the intent and everything behind this con I really, really like, and super looking forward to getting back to it again. I'm glad they're back again. They had to postpone like everybody did last year. Mm-hmm. Then we've got, after that, I was originally going to go to MegaCon in Orlando, but I've changed my plans. Did you want to bring up something about that convention?
I was just going to mention it. That's obviously, for those of you who know, it's the annual convention here in Orlando. It used to be held in fall. They bumped it about 8 to 10 years ago. They bumped it back to end of May. And this year, I think they even bumped it another week because they obviously didn't want to go up head to head against Star Wars Celebration out in Anaheim, which is Memorial Day weekend this year. So they bumped it up a week prior to that. I believe it runs like May 19th through the 22nd or something like that. But anyway, it's down in Orlando, and a lot of interesting Star Wars guests at that one as well. One of the other draws for some non-Star Wars stuff, of course, they're having all the Hobbits are there.
Right.
So that's a good way to
all the Hobbits. The ones from Lord of the Rings.
The four main. Come on, I think they know what I'm saying. Yeah, there's going to be 438
not
characters
Bilbo
there.
Yeah.
No, not Bilbo. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. He's another main Hobbit that they don't have.
Frodo, Sam, Pippin, and Merry are the four that are going to be there. So I'm going to call this up real quick and see what we got here on the guest list. But I've noticed there was definitely some more Star Wars people coming. All right, let me check on celebrities. Let's see.
Yeah, I was originally going to MegaCon, but then I realized Dallas Fan Expo has the Hobbits in.
Right, you might as well just go there. Yeah, much closer.
Gonna try that, even though.
So the Star Wars highlights are basically it's Mandalorian heavy. We've got Gina Carano.
That's great.
They're going to have Giancarlo Esposito as well as Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan Kryze. Ashley Eckstein is also going to be at MegaCon. Non-Star Wars, we've got obviously one of my favorites and one of your favorites too. I know John Cleese is going to be here.
Oh yeah.
As well as from Star Trek, we've got Brent Spiner and LeVar Burton, Data and Geordie LaForge. Let me see who else we've got.
John Cleese is one of those few celebrities on earth that I would almost hope he would cut me down and be unpleasant.
It's like a rite of passage to get in.
Exactly.
To get insulted by John Cleese.
You won't believe what he said about me. It was phenomenal.
It was great.
It's so awful. It was great.
Exactly. I love it.
I don't think he's that way though. He's a really nice dude from everything I've seen.
So that's that was still one of my favorite things I've done when I went about 5 years ago now and saw him when he and Eric Idle did their tour, their US tour back in I guess it was around 2018, maybe 17. But they were phenomenal watching live on stage. It was great. anyway, so that's kind of basically MegaCon. A few interesting people that'll be there for sure. Ironically,
a bunch of Cobra Kai guests there too.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually they've got almost like the whole main cast, from like the top 5 or 6 people from that that are gonna be there. So that would be interesting as well. I'm actually I would actually like to go, but I'm gonna be I'm gonna be about 2,500 miles away.
They have the whole most of the people from Clerks, the movie Clerks and everything. So if you were a collector of certain things, focusing on certain things, you could really make a lot of progress on your Mandalorian.
Yeah, you can knock out several.
Monty Python, Lord of the Rings is the main one I'd be interested in. But
yeah, absolutely, you can knock out a lot. So then
Nathan
also
Fillion's there too. He's awesome.
Who is?
Nathan Fillion.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Firefly and a whole bunch of other sci-fi.
Lots of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, of course, as we already mentioned, coming up in Memorial Day weekend, the last weekend in May, we've got Star Wars Celebration out in Anaheim, which has been postponed now for basically about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. It was originally set to go, I think, in August of 2020, and of course, it's been postponed until now. But so obviously, everybody knows about Star Wars Celebration if you're watching this show. But they've got tons of all Star Wars centric. They're going to have the premiere of the first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that will be shown at the event at the expo. They're going to have, apparently, from all I've heard, I'm not sure what all has been confirmed, hasn't been confirmed, but from what I've heard, they're going to have a panel for Obi-Wan Kenobi with Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Dave Filoni, John Favreau, etc.
The name of the panel is "This Better Not Suck."
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine if you watch both episodes and then you go to the panel?
It's
terrible. It's like, just the snot be just silent to be like,
yeah, it'd be crickets.
Everybody
would
be devastated. I don't think people be booing. It'd just be
no,
like,
you're right.
nerd sadness, wave of Star Wars sadness.
They've also got a Mando Plus panel, which is going to be Filoni and Favreau. Yeah. Basically, from what we understand, discussing not only the upcoming season of season 3 of Mandalorian, but all the other things in the quote unquote Mando universe that are coming up with Ahsoka, the Ahsoka show, which is technically starting to film principal photography this month.
You know what the plus is on the Mando Plus?
What?
It's they get on stage and they have a hot potato that has a that little alarm that goes off at random, and it's shaped like Boba Fett, and they have to throw it between them and try to explain who was responsible for some of the stuff on the Boba Fett.
Yeah,
it'll be all this great stuff about Mando, and then all these questions about so which of you?
Yeah, so what happened with Boba Fett?
Which of you? The scooters. What happened there?
Exactly.
Just because John Lennon wrote some of his best songs on a napkin doesn't mean you write the script for both of them. It doesn't always work out the same.
No. Lightning rarely strikes the same place twice.
No.
So anyway,
Proclamation 1. So go ahead. What else? This is some of this stuff is news to me. I have not heard a lot of this that you're talking about. So
that's kind of
you venture into spoiler territory.
Yeah,
Star Wars in general more than I do. So you hear more rumors and things than I do. Because I know if you're going to hear rumors about Celebration, you're probably going to hear rumors about Obi-Wan, the show, and I don't want to hear any rumors about Obi-Wan.
Right, exactly. And I know you're avoiding everything. Yeah. So everything beyond the official release stuff. That's basically it pretty much in a nutshell. I mean, I've just heard about those 2 panels that are coming up. The guest list is slowly filling out. It's all the usual suspects, but the highlights, of course, because of the fact that it's coinciding with the release of Obi-Wan Kenobi, is the fact that Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Favreau and Filoni, Kennedy will be there. You've got all the, they're going to have a plethora of actors from all the shows that are currently, in production, filling up the Disney Plus Star Wars list right there. But it's going to be huge. I really wish I could go. I've been to three of them, all three that are here in Orlando. I've never actually managed to travel to one, but yeah, it's so weird. It's like the Star Wars Celebration. I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, Greedo. It's kind of a mess, but it's really really fun. It's kind of like worth it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
It's a bunch of messes colliding into a giant train wreck mess,
right?
but the parts that are organized that stand out that you get to do and everything are really really cool. And most of the messes are awesome. They're like come from the heart. Like all these fans are there. One of the best parts about Celebration is there's so much to do that you don't have to interact with the fans. I mean, you have to get by them, but you can just do the stuff and focus on that. That's Celebration, like panels, autographs. You can stand in line for autographs all day if you want. But if you just want to slack off and go meet people and go take pictures of people in costume, you can do that all day, all night, every day.
Exactly.
Because people come for 4 days and they bring 5 costumes,
right.
6 costumes. They for sure are changing once a day at least. And it's just cool. All the passion that comes. Star Wars gets it real easy because they've created this universe that everybody wants to be in. And
it's a massive universe.
Something. Yeah. As long as they allow people to bring it in, security gets more tighter and tighter. And I believe they're still doing a mask mandate for Celebration and proof of vaccination and all that, which is fine with me, but it's another thing to think about.
Yeah.
It'll mess with your cosplay, I guess, in some sense. Things unless you're wearing a Vader mask or something. But
right.
But that's the cool thing is you can focus. I always tell myself at events like that, we're going to spend a day just with the fans, and we never can because there's too much to do.
Yeah.
But you still get to run into all these different things, and it's hectic and it's crazy, but it's like running into just kind of awesome things,
But it's great. It's amazing. It's like everywhere you turn is just awesome. I love it. I love just spending time, all the ones I've been to so far. I do take at least a couple hours to just walk the main showroom floor where they have all the vendors set up, because it's just literally dozens and dozens and dozens of booths, with every kind of amazing creative Star Wars related thing you can imagine.
And it's not just private, like like stores and vendors.
Right. Yeah, it's not like
it's like
not
Lego.
Just like corporate. Yeah,
it's Lego, it's Funko, it's
right. It's those
Tops,
two, but
it's whatever.
But it's also a mix of the fan driven stuff too, that it kind of brings it together, that it makes it so cool, that you get a little bit of all that. And they generally have, I know they did at least at 2017 convention, they have the main stage set up on the main floor where you go, and they had like a full-size TIE fighter in there, and right beside that they had this massive main floor where they brought out all the guests to do Q&As. They were showing that a big video screen where that's where they premiered, I think for that year we were waiting for, that was right before the joke of Last Jedi. and we saw that's where they premiered the trailer for that. So anyway,
mistakes were made.
It's just a huge production. It's amazing. If you've never been to a Celebration, I highly recommend that you go check it out. If you're at all into Star Wars, and again, if you're watching the show, clearly you are.
A single day pass usually costs like $75.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's nothing to sneeze at, but you can't go to a concert anymore for that. So
exactly,
it's for one day. You'll have plenty to do. Like I said, they do awesome things. Like I remember at Orlando, they reenacted the Rogue One hallway scene with the rebels taking the plans, because there was a child princess around giving away the Death Star plans to different rebels. Anybody she saw dressed as a rebel or as Princess Leia. So they had those, and they ran down they had the automatic doors and the escalator, like doing the hallway. And there was a guy at the automatic doors saying, help us or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I think we had separated. I think I was waiting I was doing something while you guys saw that, because I remember we met up later and you guys told me about that.
And then the last rebel, he gets the plans to the door, and Vader comes to the door, and the rebels are fighting him. He's killing him, and he goes to a Princess Leia and hands her the plans. And that's where the scene ends. It's like, it's just so funny,
but it's great. Yeah.
Right.
It's a cool
And
community to be a part of. I enjoy
the
that.
501st shows up in force.
Oh
Pumpkin's
yeah,
there,
there's
and that's
501st
pretty
and
epic
I'm
to
sure you've
see.
probably seen those group shots of 501st at the different
It's crazy.
celebrations. There's literally be like 100 stormtroopers in
it's
one
like,
shot.
while we're here, why don't we shoot a movie? Because
yeah, exactly, because we got 100 stormtroopers all in one shot.
Oh, it's more than that. It's more than 100 usually. It's like 100
true.
TIE pilots.
Well, right. That's a good point. 100 TIE pilots.
There's like 50
like 2,000 stormtroopers.
Yeah, biker scouts. There's like 50 biker scouts,
right?
100 officers, 200 AT-AT drivers. It's like, what the? Is this for real?
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Just cover the whole floor and go out the door.
And they have lots of great panels. And not every panel is a big panel. It's not every panel isn't the Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Kenobi. A lot of times they'll have a behind the scenes thing. Like one of my favorite ones I ever went to was a panel about the original radio play. From this is the one cool. I went way back to in 2010. Still to this day is one of my favorite ones. But it was just a small one in one of the side rooms. There's probably 50 people in there watching it, but they had some of the voice actors from the original thing on there, and just talking about what the whole creative process was like and the production was like. It was pretty cool to watch. I enjoyed that. And you get lots of cameos. I mean, come on, we can't go without talking about the cameos. Look at the cameos we got last time we were there. John Williams, Harrison Ford. It's just like people that were not on the list, that didn't, sign autographs, they didn't do photo ops. They literally just showed up to do like a big Q&A and wave and then leave. But it was Harrison.
And this is another. I mean, people probably already know all this stuff, but this is another tip for celebration that's usually held true. On the convention floor, they'll always have a stage of some kind where they do interviews with guests and stuff.
Right.
If you don't want to fight the crowds and you don't want to stand in line or be there super early to get your wrist badge for a panel, or stay overnight sometimes, to get your
which a lot of people did at the last one we went to.
Yeah, we were there at 5:30 a.m. or something, standing
about 3:30 a.m.
in Orlando, about to get run over
for hours.
But if you don't want to do all that, go in and hang out by the stage. And a lot of these epic guests show up, and they don't tell you, they don't warn you they're coming. Right. So you kind of have to pay attention. And another tip I'll give is there's a group on Facebook that I found really useful, Star Wars Celebration public group on Facebook. It's a private group really, but anybody in the public can join it as long as you apply to join. And people will post terrific information on there as celebration's going on. Like we got tips of like small line at this side of the building, you know, and so we go over there and sure enough, we got a lot of great tips that way. I even saw that like Harrison Ford, the part of the building he was exiting from, to go to his like black limo or whatever, black SUV. And so you can do stuff like that to get a lot of extra goodness out of it or you can relax, go hang out at the stage and do stuff like that, and you'll still see every guest. Even Mark Hamill was on the stage. Almost every guest
everybody generally
at
some point goes up there. Hayden Christensen showed up at the last one we were at. That was fine. That was actually just a couple of years after Rogue One, and most of the cast of Rogue One showed up there as well. So that was kind of cool there. And Forrest Whitaker. So
I was trying to think of
so really, really great.
There's lots of ways to enjoy it. You just have to it's very exhausting.
It can be overwhelming.
And then you have to remember the people working there are 90% volunteers, and their effectiveness is not just dependent on how dedicated or good they are at their job. It's how they've been instructed, what they've been told. And so you can't really get mad at them when things get disorganized. It won't help you. If somebody doesn't know something, you have to move on to the next volunteer. We've stated on the record that 2017 was a total cluster, as far as all that goes.
In a lot of ways,
in a lot of ways. We would show up for the line for panels and they'd send us to the wrong line. And you'd go all the way down this huge room of roped off area, and you'd find out you're in the wrong line, have to go back through all the ropes, go down, and meanwhile 800 people had gone in front of you.
Right, and meanwhile you're 800 people farther back in line. Yeah, exactly.
Right. It was a disaster. It's like, why did we wait outside for an hour and a half? And also, if you're into Hasbro, like toy collecting and stuff like that, they always have exclusives. Every major company has exclusives there. And I also found that a great way to pay for your trip is to buy those exclusives at the price at the con, if you can. And then for the 2 weeks after that, people go crazy trying to collect those. You can sell
Yeah,
them and
absolutely.
And help pay for your trip. I don't do that. We don't gouge people. That's just not our thing. But it's totally possible to do.
Right.
If you, but nothing's free. I mean, even when I got the Celebration Luke figures that I got, I had to do legwork, to get that. I had to walk all over the place. I had to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
And I had to fight some misinformation from another volunteer too, to let me get, in line for it or whatever. So you have to be persistent. And one thing too you should bring the celebration is a lightsaber, because it's not just fun to hold up at the panels. It will actually let your group find you in all the corridors when there's thousands of people there. And you're like, I'm down the hallway. Which hallway? The one with 1,000 people. Which hallway with 1,000
people? Exactly.
Okay, I'm holding up and swinging my lightsaber. Oh, I see you now.
Right.
The lightsaber is super useful, not just for cleaving Sith or anything. It's for finding your way.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's it's a lot of fun. It's worth, to me, it's worth the headache to go through a celebration and all that, because of the memories. And it's especially fun when you can go in a group. Like I said, the first two I went basically by myself in 2010 and 2012. And then in 2017, Gundark and Greedo were able to come down and go with me. And that was my favorite, just from the standpoint, because they were with me, because we got to experience it together. And that's the best part for me. So that's the best thing about going to these conventions, is just being able to do it together. So
yeah, what did Yoda say? Luke said, "What's in there? Only what you take with you."
Right.
That's a man. The Empire Strikes Back's full of so much profound advice.
Oh, it is.
But events like this, it's really for your friends. And if you have family, you're lucky enough to have family that can go with you that's into this stuff. You go bring the good stuff with you, and you'll enjoy it. And we don't really do this that much, but a lot of fans bring stickers, pins, cards, all kinds of stuff to trade. If you bring things to trade, you'll find all kinds of cool stuff with fans. If you just start talking to them and just bring a swag bag of stuff to trade, and you'll have a ton of fun. So
that's a great idea.
That's another good tip at celebration too. If you're into pins, and even if you're not, not depends, into pins. And I don't mean the writing pins, the collectible pins.
Yeah.
A lot of the volunteers, and especially the ones that are actual employees, but even most of the volunteers have exclusive or con pins on them that you can trade for.
Right.
And they're instructed that they have to trade with you. Right. So if you find one that has a really valuable or rare pin, you can usually, they have to trade with you.
Haggle it. Yeah.
You can haggle for it. You can get it.
And you're right, because this is basically an offshoot of Disney, because that's what Disney pin trading is, with all of the cast members that they have. They have to trade with you. They can't say, no, I don't want to trade with you.
It's like my eBay account is just waiting on this pin.
Exactly.
I can't trade you for your crap pin.
Exactly. So but any final thoughts before we wrap up on the convention?
I'm also going to, like I said, I'm planning on going to Dallas Fan Expo, and that is have I been to the Dallas Con?
When is that one coming up?
That is, I'd have to look it up. I think it's in the middle of June.
Oh, okay.
It's either June or July. Yeah. Yep. And they're going to have the Hobbits, but they're not going to have something as awesome as John Cleese. But so we are doing a few cons, or different members. We are doing a few cons right now. I have tickets to Celebration. Not absolutely sure that I'm going to go yet. You can go on Facebook and look up our Cantina Club Star Wars signings page if you want to. And I keep a list that's current of the different cons we're going to, and we offer what they call consignment help. If there's a guest you want to get, or something, an autograph from, and you can't make it to that con, or it's across the country from you, we help out with that. We've been doing it for 4 years now or something.
Yeah.
And up to this point, we've never charged anyone a penny to do it. We're the only people on planet Earth that don't charge to do it. Literally the only people on planet Earth. There's plenty of good people that charge a minimum that do fantastic work, like our friend Graham Cawley over in the UK. I can't say enough about. He's been £5 forever. to get help on, I mean, which is just crazy low price. And he's finally
Yeah,
I think,
it
gonna
is.
raise it because he needs to, because he's
Right.
losing money. He'll sometimes get 100 autographs from people on a weekend or something. Or, he just does crazy work.
Yeah.
Anyway, he could make more money doing less, but we started that just to have fun with it and to help people out who really can't get somewhere and want something not about money, because the money's not going to make anybody rich. So and also, just like this channel's not monetized,
Right.
who knows, maybe someday we might, in the right circumstances, but so far we've remained committed to keeping our passion for Star Wars separate from monetary things.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to find that page, it's Cantina Club Star Wars signings on Facebook, and we will take consignments for you. I don't have any plans to charge for it yet. We are going to be spending a lot of money going to these cons, so at some point I may have to, implement things. And also, some of these guests have a 3-hour line. Like Billy D. Williams, it was literally.
Yeah.
You could have gotten by with waiting maybe an hour and a half and still gotten his autograph, but at some point you risk not getting it.
Not getting somebody else.
Because they're going to call it into the line. And Billy D. Williams wasn't there for the money strictly. He was there because he had a commitment. He could have signed all day. Made tons of money, but he's elderly and doesn't want to deal with that and stuff. So you kind of run the risk of a lot of people missing out if you don't stand in line. But some guests are just more prohibitive than others. It's more difficult to get. So we have to talk about that.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's the cons we're planning on going to. The ones we're most interested in: ICCC, Nashville, then the Star Wars Celebration, Dallas Fan Expo so far.
Right. At least that's the ones coming up in the next couple of months anyway.
Yeah, and we all hope and pray that no world events has to be canceled, and that we can try to live as close to normal lives as possible.
That would be nice. All right. Well, anyway, but if you guys are out there going to these conventions, we highly recommend that you go and support these things, especially the ones, the smaller ones like the ICCC and the one in Dallas and stuff like that, because the only way they exist is because people like us go and support it. So definitely go and just enjoy, because it's a good time. It's a lot of fun. So with that being said, we'll be back soon. We're going to definitely do a full report. Like Greedo was saying, we do have press passes for ICCC in Nashville coming up in the end of April. And we're going to do a full report, videos, photos, the whole bit, show you all the swag we pick up and all that good stuff. And we will definitely see you then. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
Come and villainy, it's a wretched hive. But life ain't always teddy bears, fireworks, and high fives. Folks round here don't care for sand. Stick around long enough, you'll be lucky just to lose a hand. Singing yum num, raise your glass and sing yum num, yum num. At the Cantina Club.
Oh, have you decided on what's that?
You recorded this, right?
Oh yeah, I recorded it.
Okay.
It's still recording.
I was gonna be like, oh shit, forgot.